Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that's been on my mind a lot lately, the growing sophistication of cyber threats, especially malvertising and smishing attacks.
It's honestly a bit scary how these attacks are evolving, and I think it's crucial for all of us to stay aware and vigilant about them. So, let's dive into this.
First off, malvertising, it's basically when cybercriminals use online ads to spread malware. Like, you could be browsing a site and suddenly an ad pops up that looks legit, but it's actually a trap.
One recent campaign even targeted Microsoft advertisers through fake Google ads. Can you believe that? They redirect users to phishing pages, which is a huge risk.
I remember reading a quote from cybersecurity expert Jerome Segura about how relentless and sneaky these threats can be.
Attackers are using all sorts of techniques to evade detection, like VPN redirections and Cloudflare challenges, which makes it really tough to spot them. Then, there's phishing itself.
It's, this whole landscape of deception where attackers create lookalike websites to trick you into giving up your credentials. I mean, imagine thinking you're logging into your Microsoft account, but you're actually on a fake page.
The impact of compromised credentials can be devastating, especially if you have two-factor authentication set up. It's just wild to think that this ongoing campaign has been targeting Microsoft and other platforms for so long.
Now, let's talk about smishing. This is a term for phishing attacks that happen via SMS. It's become so much more common, and I recently came across a USPS impersonation campaign that was targeting mobile users.
They're using tactics like sending PDF files with malicious links, which makes it super easy for anyone to fall for it. And the social engineering involved is, really clever.
Attackers know how to exploit our trust in well-known brands, and that just makes it all the more dangerous. Moving on to the advanced techniques these attackers are using, it's honestly mind-blowing.
They're employing sophisticated methods to bypass security measures, even using platforms like iMessage for smishing. One tool that stands out is the Darkula Phishing as a Service Toolkit. It's just a reminder of how important it is to recognize common patterns in phishing attempts. We need to be alert, So, what are the takeaways here? Well, first and foremost, we need to be vigilant.
Awareness is key, and we have to take proactive measures to protect ourselves. Staying informed about these cybersecurity threats is essential, and I can't stress enough how crucial it is to share this information with friends and family.
We all need to enhance our community's awareness. Honestly, reflecting on all this has made me realize how easy it is to let our guard down. I mean, we're all busy with our lives, and it's easy to think, oh, that won't happen to me.
But the truth is, it can happen to anyone. It's a bit overwhelming, but I think there's something positive to take away from it. Each of us has the. Today, we're diving into something super important: cybersecurity threats that are making headlines.
It's wild how sophisticated these attacks have become, and it's crucial for us to stay aware, especially with stuff like malvertising and smishing on the rise. So, let's break it down and see what we can learn to protect ourselves. Alright, so first up, let's talk about malvertising. You might be wondering, what exactly is that? Well, it's basically when malicious ads are used to redirect unsuspecting users to phishing sites. Yeah, it's pretty sneaky.
Recently, there was this campaign targeting Microsoft advertisers with these bogus Google ads that looked legit but were anything but.
Can you imagine clicking on what you think is a safe ad, only to find yourself on a sketchy page? It's terrifying. These attackers use all sorts of techniques to evade detection.
Like, they might use VPNs to hide their tracks, or even take advantage of Cloudflare challenges to make it harder for security systems to kick them out.
It's like they're playing a game of cat and mouse, and the stakes are really high for us regular folks. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about phishing.
This is a huge issue that's been around for a while, but it's still catching people off guard. So, phishing is when someone pretends to be a trustworthy entity to steal sensitive information.
There's been a rise in lookalike phishing pages like ones that mimic Microsoft's legitimate site.
It's mind-blowing how convincing these can be. When people fall for these scams, it can lead to compromised credentials, and even if you have two-factor authentication, it might not be enough.
It's like these attackers are always one step ahead, and it's frustrating. Reflecting on this, I can't help but feel a little overwhelmed, like, how do we keep up? But knowing that vigilance is key gives me a sense of control.
Next, let's talk about smishing, which is a term for phishing via SMS. It's on the rise, and recently, there was a campaign where scammers impersonated USPS to target mobile users.
They sent out texts with links to PDF files that, surprise, contained malicious links. It's like they know how to exploit our trust in big brands. I mean, who doesn't trust USPS, right? This brings me to the emotional side of things.
It's really unsettling to think there are people out there manipulating our trust. I've felt that anxiety creep in, and it's made me more cautious.
But I've also realized that we can empower ourselves by spreading awareness and sharing information with our friends and family. Like, if we all stay informed, we can create a stronger community against these threats.
Now, let's get into some advanced techniques attackers are using. They're constantly finding new ways to bypass security measures. For instance, some are using iMessage and other platforms for smishing.
There's even this phishing as a service toolkit called Darkula that makes it even easier for these bad actors to launch attacks. It's a bit daunting, to be honest.
But through all this, I've learned something important. Recognizing patterns in phishing attempts can really help us stay safe. It's like, if we know what to look for, we can better protect ourselves.
After all, knowledge is power, right? As we wrap this up, I want to highlight some key takeaways. First off, it's all about vigilance and awareness. We need to be proactive and stay informed about what's happening in the cybersecurity world.
There's so much out there, but if we work together and share what we know, we can make a difference. So, here's my call to action. Please, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment below to share your thoughts or experiences with cyber threats.
Let's keep this conversation going. I know it can feel overwhelming at times, but let's take a moment to appreciate the small victories.
Like the fact that we're having these discussions and trying to educate ourselves is already a step in the right direction. I'm grateful for the awareness we're building together.
It's cathartic to talk about these things and process the emotions that come with them. So, remember, stay aware, stay safe, and let's support each other in this digital world. Thanks for tuning in.